Hey, this is Black Hills Podcast. I said block. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, I stuttered. Okay, if you're interested in sponsoring an episode, email us at blackhillspodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to Black Hills Podcast on YouTube and like our page on Facebook. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Black Hills Podcast. And to listen to us, you can listen to us on Spotify and iTunes. If you'd like to support Black Hills Podcast, click the link and either support via PayPal or Venmo. And also to support the podcast, we've got some awesome merch here. Black Hills Podcast is a community-based project funded by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Today, James Carter is going to be co-hosting with me. And today we have, from the legendary Buffalo Chip, Rod Woodruff and his daughter,
Toni.
How's it going, guys?
You know, life is pretty good. You know, it's riding weather finally. And, you know, people are getting out and about. Everybody's excited. The tourism is buzzing in the, you know, the Black Hills. It's just a pretty cool time.
Before we even get rolling here, do you got any advice for an up-and-coming entrepreneur? You're the man to talk to, you know, to ask this question to so many people. This is like the money question.
You know, yeah, you don't have any idea how silly that sounds to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's somebody someplace that knows about it. You know, with entrepreneur thing, you're doing it, right? You're starting a business of yourself, you know, of your own. Okay, that's number one. Mm-hmm. You always want to be in business for yourself instead of working for somebody else. And then you have to remain flexible and keep doing stuff until you find something that works. And then you focus on it, I think, is what the deal is. It's kind of lots of different ways to look at things. But, you know, Henry Ford did okay for quite a while. And his theory was, you know, what is it? You put all your eggs in one basket and then keep your eye on that basket, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of, you know, when you get to that point, you got to figure out, I guess, what all the eggs and stuff are. So we all drift around and do different things for a good long period of time before something settles in.
Yeah, you got to adapt, for sure.
Yeah, you know, right now to this 2020 is one of those years where adaptation is particularly a prominent thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my grandmother, your mom always said, you got to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
That was like one of her statements, just keep on keeping on. So you stay focused and move forward always.
Yeah. A lot of some places, whoever's not really adapting right now, it's going to be hurting business.
Well, you know, the whole thing, too, is, you know, my mother, again, what that, you know, Tony's referring to, you know, they were children of the Depression, right? So you saved money. You didn't squander anything. You know, my financial advice from her is, as long as you squeeze the nickel till the buffalo shits, you'll be fine.
That's a good one. I feel like all the way, like you have to just keep on going no matter what the situation is in the world right now. Now it just stay focused, and that's what I always feel.
Yeah, doing freestyle motocross right now, you're not doing shows.
Yeah.
You kind of live on public events.
Yeah, and I mean, with all that, of course it is a super negative thing to have and go on, but at the same time, I haven't been home, and I can't even tell you, since 2012, the last year, the year I got hurt super bad, and then, but I mean, feel like being home, of course, it's a bummer, but at the same time, brand new daughter, and lucky to be home.
That's cool. Congratulations.
Yeah,
on
congratulations.
Thanks.
Name?
Cecilia Rose Carter.
That. Awesome.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
All right, Cecilia Rose.
That's a good, strong
Yeah, I like that,
name.
yeah.
She's gonna do well by you.
You
Right.
bought her a bike yet?
Well, Strider actually just sent the pink bike, Strider bike, the balance part of it, and I mean, she's going to be set and ready. That's I'm already waiting for that day, even though it makes me nervous already thinking about it. But that's why I thought, you know, if we had a boy, then he would probably want to ride motocross, and then it's a whole nother world, I feel like.
I bet
Yeah,
she will.
She's going to
Yeah.
surprise you.
Yeah.
She's going to
But-
kick butt at whatever she
Yeah.
does. She's got a pretty strong leader in you.
Yeah. My wife and our whole family just loves cars and Harleys, and anything and everything about the rally is our main go-to, and we look forward to it every year. So I feel like it's going to run in the family forever.
Well, it's nice. It's one of those silver linings of the time right now is that you have time to be with your
Exactly,
family.
yep,
So
yeah.
it's hard to always, when things feel like they're kind of changing or different, kind of looking at
Yeah.
those important things that are happening that are good, filled with
Exactly.
gratitude.
Yeah.
Little history about the buffalo chip. If it wasn't for the buffalo chip, we probably wouldn't have a Sturgis Rally, would we?
Oh, I'm not the one to comment on that.
Well,
I've had a lot of people say that, and it's nice to hear, because we had struggles when we first started. Because when we first started,
Sturgis
the reason
wanted
we
out.
started was they wanted to get rid of the rally.
Yep.
Wanted to find a way to keep motorcyclists from coming.
The riffraff.
Yeah, and so that was where we started. So
And how many years ago was that?
this is our 39th annual event. So that was
Just as old as me.
yeah.
There you go.
That's
Well, when
right.
you were born,
81.
I started
were-
at age 1, so
Yeah.
we're the same age.
Yeah. Yeah, we were out there putting up those flyers. One of the time I was cleaning out one of our sheds, and I found an old ticket stub from the Doobie Brothers playing, and we found from one of the early years, and then I found a ticket stub from their first show in 1982. We actually had like little ticket that had the name on it, and I showed it to Dad, and that was really the beginning. Then I found a flyer that we posted up to let people know that they could come and camp with us when they were being asked to not participate in the city park. And so that's really kind of where it started. Woody often mentions that, kind of went from a party in the pasture to the largest motorcycle music festival in motorcycling. It's kind of this natural evolution over these 39 years
Yeah.
of, how to celebrate freedom and life together.
So cool.
It is, man. Bikers need a place to go. Like,
Yeah.
whether you ride or not, it's a place to go make some memories.
Oh.
Every time any of my friends ever go there, they always come back with some gnarly story.
100%. It's all about having a good time.
Yeah, it's an iconic place. It's always going to be an iconic place in motorcycle history, the Buffalo Chip. So I can't wait. Where do you want to see it go in the future? Like,
I didn't have a great big vision for it when we started. We were just going to go out and have a party. And, it's kind of worked out that way. The most valuable part of the whole thing is just the friendships that you make. The memories that you make. You share those memories with other people. You build them together, and you end up, one of my favorite old Elvis Presley songs. I got neighbors, I got friends just about anywhere the rainbow ends. I wouldn't have had that if it hadn't been for, motorcycling.
Yeah.
And, this little bitty spot out in the middle of nowhere, that it's tough to get started. But, as a come around, it attracted people. People go where they're welcome.
yep. Yeah, there's not a lot of judgment out there.
Yeah. Not at all.
Big dudes running around without t-shirts on.
I feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
well,
place where you don't point fingers out there at all.
Yeah.
I always say that every year, kind of, although there's this is kind of an outline of our, program. It's a campground. We have music and entertainment, and we have different things that happen every year. But every year has its own fingerprint. There's these elements that are the same. Well, you're going to have a great ride. You're going to have a great concert. You're going to have some friends camping with you. It's going to be fun. But each year has like its own signature. And so at the end of that year, you can look back with your friends and you say, well, remember when we were blah, 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 and it does. It just evolves. And that happens for us internally as a family. It happens with our business partners, with the people we just meet.
Yeah, every 5 years. something happens big at Buffalo Chip. Like worldwide.
Yeah.
If it's not Steven Tyler, it's it's like a thunderstorm and just a mud pit or something like that.
Yeah, we got a lot of those kind of memories.
Yeah, South
Yeah.
Dakota strong.
Right.
But you you survive them. And I remember, there was one time, I can't tell you what year it was, but it rained so much that they had washed out the bridges on the Mississippi River. And in order to get to us, the only bridge that was still there was in St. Louis. So people had to go to St. Louis to get across the Mississippi River if they were from eastern half of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. And, I'm out there, and I don't know, Damon was 8 or 10 or 12, I don't know. And we're out there, it's raining cats and dogs, and we got rain gear on, and I'm out there, and in rides this guy, and so I said, geez, I'm sorry, it's just raining and it's muddy, and he said, don't even think about it. I just rode through 2,000 miles of this shit. I ain't letting it ruin my party. And so the next thing you know, later, another day or two, people are, having sledding contests down the hillside in the mud because it just had rained inches, right, for, days. And so, it was kind of like our first baptism in the business. It was like 1987. First time we really had a full lineup of 8 or 9 days of major events. It started raining on Saturday and it quit on Saturday, but it wasn't the same Saturday. And so, it was tough.
And I always feel like during the rally, once they're here, it doesn't matter what goes on, what type of weather we get, from hail to tornado warnings, anything. The bikers are going to go out and do what they came here to do.
Yeah, we've had some hailstorms too,
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
It's
once a year.
Yeah.
Once a year. It always happens somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
we put it on our website, early on, and it's been there for 30, however many years we've had the internet, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, the wind is going to blow 100 miles an hour for at least a couple minutes,
Yep.
and it's going to rain a couple inches. And might be the same 2 minutes. Probably will be. And if
Yeah.
you ain't ready for that 2 minutes, the rest of your vacation is going to be seriously impacted.
I would say last year, though, was pretty good weather.
Oh, most of the time.
Yes,
I tell
most of
everybody,
it's-
the weather here is always nice.
Yeah.
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 And the storms are pretty quick storms, so
they're
it's
pretty
only
short.
30-minute storm, if that. But
You can see
But
them
they
coming.
can do
Yeah, yeah.
they do some damage sometime. And one of the things that I really appreciate about the motorcycle community is that they don't let it get them down for very long.
yeah, not at all.
And they're always helping each other out. So if somebody's tent just blew to shreds, or someone's bike is laid down or something, people all come together and help each other out. It's a great community of givers.
That's the cool thing about the camaraderie about motorcyclists, enthusiasts and stuff. And it's not just being a biker, because out of the bike and the clothes, we all have regular jobs, and they come from all sorts of different parts of the world. So
I remember one year going out to the Buffalo Chip and see a storm coming, and I'm in the vehicle, so at least I wasn't on the bike, and all of a sudden it was like a softball-sized piece of hail that hit the front windshield, and it just started coming down. I saw bikers climbing in the trees. I just rolled down the window and told some guys to jump in, and they jumped in the truck right away. And they were just so thankful about just trying to help out in any type of way. So that's what I always feel like with the rally is no matter what the weather is, there's always someone there to help if there is a big issue, but they're going to still have a good time.
Well, you're guaranteed a good story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember the hailstorm that was like the 100-year hailstorm.
I think that was actually
2009.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
And I remember it very well because I had a new vendor and they were up in those covered units, and I just went up there to kind of welcome them. It was setting up, and she goes, "Well, this is my first time really out of California. She hadn't been anywhere." And I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. We get this weather right at the transition when the heat conversion for the daytime comes down, and it'll just pass." And I was standing there with her, and it wasn't 30 seconds later that hailstorm hit with that wind, and it just blew. And my car,
it was massive size.
I took my car back to get repaired after the hailstorm, and my car was serviced in Seattle, and I took it back, and And he said, "What happened to your car?" And I said, "Well, it was a hailstorm." So he's like, "No, what happened to your car?" I said, "No, it was a hailstorm in South Dakota."
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting when we think about that for 2009. People remember the hailstorm, and that's the story that they tell. Other people say 2009, that was the year that, let's see, Steven Tyler fell off the
That's
stage.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a big year
So
for
other
us.
people focus on, that was Steven Tyler fell off the stage, right?
Yep.
And other people are thinking 2009. That was the year he had Pee Wee Herman out there, and you got 12 Minutes Live on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and he did the Funny or Die program. So, all this stuff, but different memories. Everybody has them, and you don't always associate that whole experience. But, you blend all that stuff in. That was quite a week.
Well, I think that was actually the first year got to use the midgets as bowling balls too.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the hell's going on?
That was-
They're like,
yeah.
get in there, Brandon, be the bowling ball.
Yeah, there's always good memories with it all, no matter what.
Yeah, man, I have a blast all the time. I got so many good stories. Probably write a book.
Yeah.
I think everybody could.
Yeah, have you wrote a book?
No.
Are
Not
you
yet.
gonna?
I mean, that would be a pretty good one about
There's
just the buffalo chip.
It would be.
We do have for the 30th, we had a coffee table book that a person went through some of our archives of some of the photos and stories and some of the characters, which was really nice for us to have, as a personal history and record of it. And
Yeah.
on our 25th anniversary, I attempted to do a little black and white, artistic style photo history of how we started. And, it was
Super
really
cool.
fun to get some of those people and memories, but mostly it's like a tribal community where a lot of our stories and culture are passed down verbally and through, face experience.
Yeah.
And you just have a responsibility to keep the flame lit.
Yeah.
Talked to a guy the other day, been there 32 consecutive years. He started coming to the chip with his father when he was 16. And, so he spent 1 week of his life every year for 32 weeks camped out at the chip, right? We got some. You'd think, who's got that kind of time? This is a really successful guy. He's the guy you ought to ask about entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
Because, not only can he have a bunch of businesses that are very successful, he's got plenty of free time to goof off, right?
Yeah.
So, and we should be asking you about your memories and your experiences out there then. That was.
What was your first year that you came?
I think I was 15, 16. And it was really funny. My buddy, we used to ride dirt bikes and race and stuff. And he was like, let's go out to the Buffalo Chip. I know a way to get in. And I was like, absolutely. And we're all mohawked kids. It's crazy. And we go out there and we couldn't sneak in. It was like we drove all the way from Spearfish and got there, and we are like, oh man, we can't get in. But this old biker dude was like, hey guys, is that your tent over there? We're like, absolutely. We went over there, we got in, and we were just like,
of course.
boobs, boobs
everywhere.
But no, there wasn't. We were all
15-year-old male.
we were all depressed. We were like, we didn't see one boob. We were like 15 years old. We shared like a bottle of water and a Dr. Pepper and left. We didn't understand them because we were too young. So everybody, older was partying, and we were like, all right, let's go.
It's a bunch of old people.
Yeah, we feel weird here. It was a good time. Yeah, that's all we want to do. The boobs. Right?
I bet your story changed the next years, though.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yes.
There's an
time.
evolution of everybody's learning curve.
I had an 80-year-old uncle that come out there and he comes back and his eyes are about as big as your beer can. And he says, I swear, the door opened on this RV and this woman walked out and she was stark naked. No, she was stark naked. Just, it made his life,
Oh,
was the
my
biggest
gosh.
thing.
Yeah, family business. We employ all of our relatives. So, and you're 80, and your uncle from the eastern side of the state, we gave him some good work.
He came back the next year.
Yeah.
That's cool that it's family ran. Also, that's awesome.
Yes, thanks to Rod Woodruff, he somehow suckered us all in, made a success.
So do you live here then, or are you still?
I do live here now.
Okay.
Yeah, I live on a small ranch near the Buffalo Chip.
Okay.
And
So-
yeah,
Did you move here?
I did. Well, yeah, I moved here permanently about 10 years ago. And previous to that, I don't know, I've been actively working with Woody and my brother in the last 20 years. But I was commuting back and forth from Seattle. And then eventually it was just time to move home.
Yeah.
So it was a really nice opportunity. I'm really
The Black
grateful for it.
Hills. You
Yes.
will always come back.
No matter
It's
what.
true. I just wrote, so I serve on the Black Hills and Badlands Tourism Regional Board, and we just actually today it posted, and that was what I said. They asked me, what is it that you're drawn to in the Black Hills region? And I said, the land, the sky, the smell of the air, like when you hit the pine line
Yeah.
and you're going up through the canyon.
I started this to really get to know people around the community and get to have long conversations because you can't on any platform here in the Black Hills. And I'm staying here for the rest of my life, so I might as well become a part of all this. So it's like, let's do this. I'm going in because I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, man. I'm going to get old. I'm already halfway.
I'm going to get old. That's a good plan. Growing old's the best option.
So, are you guys originally from here then? Born and raised?
I was born in South Dakota, about 300 miles east of here.
Okay.
Rose Hill Township. And, after I got out of the service, I came back from the Bay Area to go to law school. And I, hadn't really gone to college yet, so, I picked up a bunch of classes while I was in the service and, finished business school at University of South Dakota, then went to the University of South Dakota School of Law. I was headed back to San Francisco when, stopped here, and here I am.
Yeah, this was it.
Yeah. So, it was pretty cool. Actually, mining had gone belly up, and up at Terry Peak, there was a old ghost town called Trojan. And so, myself and a number of friends just kind of claimed the ownership of that old town. And so I thought, well, this is kind of cool. So then I started practicing law around and then started doing this and other things in the process. And, and eventually this has turned out to be a lot more fun and
Yes.
a lot more time consuming than,
I'm the one who leaves my phone.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
Slacking over here.
it's much better that it's you than anybody else, though.
And with finding, was the property of the Buffalo Chip just for sale, or is that how did that exactly start with?
Yeah.
When it was clear that Sturgis didn't want to have bikers in town, it's kind of part of the way I worked my way through high school was throwing keg parties. And so we just were looking for a place then to have a little keg party, right?
Yeah.
And so someplace close to town, kind of away from the highway where you could have some privacy. And turned out that this was part of a very large ranch formerly that the lady who had inherited it, third generation, was living in Sioux Falls, wasn't using it. And so her husband was an old bootlegger from back in the day. And
Nice.
they kind of liked the idea, so of us having a party out there. And so borrowed the land from them for a number of years. And then eventually bought that from them and then bought more and then just kind of pieced together what we have whenever it become available.
Yeah. So I feel like that, to me, explains entrepreneur right there is
Go with what you know.
Go with
you
you
know,
started
being a
with
partier.
something so different that
That's what-
now has been, it's one of the biggest things well known in South Dakota and around the whole world pretty much. I mean, I've seen people in Europe with Sturgis shirts on and you tell them about the Buffalo Chip and they know about it. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's starting from that small area and all of a sudden it just blows up to...
It's strange how that works. I mean, we're just having a little party out in the pasture, literally in the middle of nowhere, clear the hell out in South Dakota. Nobody knew where that was. They kept calling it North Dakota when they could remember Dakota
For
party.
the first time.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself getting postcards from south of Peru, right? For Buffalo Chip,
Yeah.
right?
Of course,
And,
I'm guessing ton of hard work and dedication is
That was all a cakewalk.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not true.
Only
He's worked
32
very,
years, right?
39.
39 years, gosh.
One of the things I really admire about you is that it's like this tenacity to constantly moving forward. You know, you just need to be being innovative and thinking of new ideas, and you know, it's a gift of opportunity I have in learning from him. And so I think that really shows a lot in the organic nature of how our business has grown, is that we believe strongly in listening to our customers and kind of what their needs are. You know, okay, you need a place to stay? Okay, well, come on out to the pasture and we'll have a kegger and you can stay here. And then it evolved. And Woody's always famously saying, you could tell when women started attending more, because then we had to have restrooms and nice showers. And we had to up the ante a little bit. And every year that's gotten more and more. And now, especially because women riders now are a lot more riding their own, and you know, it's a more equal representation in the group. So we've grown a lot from that party in the pasture.
You guys have a women's bike night or something? I was seeing that, like, I forgot what it's called.
Biker bells.
Biker bells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a bike show or a get together or something where all the girls get together?
Not all of them, unfortunately.
It's our women's charitable platform that we have. It's on Tuesday during the rally every year. This is our 12th annual event.
Cool.
It's called the Biker Bells, and we do have a bike show affiliated with that called the Women in Wheels Bike Show, which features women's bikes, and you know, not necessarily just built by women, but customized by women, or this or ride, and they've entered that. And so that's something new that's been the last 3 years. This will be the third year of the Women in Wheels Bike Show. But we started out, it was really a group of women who were looking for ways to raise money for the museum to kind of feature the history of women who paved the way, you know, like Gloria Struck and, you know, Dottie Robinson, and some of these people that really opened the grounds for more women riders. And so we started it with a panel discussion with some of the leading women in the industry. And we do like a luncheon, and the whole day is dedicated to just a place where women can gather. We call it the Home for Women at Sturgis, because women really needed a place to just kind of find a home so they could communicate with each other, find friends to ride with. And sometimes it's hard to navigate in such a large scale event. And, you know, they were a smaller minority when we started 12 years ago, and it's changed a lot and evolved in that time frame. And this year we're featuring Jody Perowitz and Lena Ferris and as our speakers, and Marilyn Stemp as a moderator. And we're really excited. We'll have a number of special guests there, and it's a fun day.
Yeah, I want to check that out. I was kind of interested in that.
Oh.
You're welcome to come. It is open to men and women. Anybody who supports women in motorcycling. It was really important to us at the beginning to be inclusive, because a lot of women start riding because their brothers or their fathers, or, you know, your daughter when she's riding, you know, Biker Bells will be there for her, man. You know, it's going to be cool. There's a lot of inspiration, and it's everybody. It's all walks of life. I mean, you know, your classic women leather lady rider vest to, you know, hot shot in her tank top looking like a model. You just, you know, feel kind of ugly standing next to, you know, but it's just a lot of fun. A lot of women, you know, they shop talk, you know, where'd you get your seat? Because when I first was with this group, you know, it was all about trying to find a jacket that fit you on the road, because they didn't have nobody had apparel that was geared towards women. And now it's way past that. It's customizing your bike to your exact body. So it's fun. So that was a long answer. It's kind of my passion. So
No, that's super
Yeah,
cool.
when I started riding, I've been riding my whole life, but I got my first bike like 2014. And the only people that were available to ride with me all the time, like on the weekend, were 4 girls all the time.
that's sweet. I like that story.
And 100% of the time, my bike always ended up breaking down. So I'd have to ride on the back of theirs. I was like, just hop on, I'll give you a ride. Like, no, get on back. And I'm like, so I just ride back from, like, you know, Hermosa or something like that.
Well, even,
humbling experience.
Last year, I followed a few of the ladies that were there at the Buffalo Chip, and they were there with John Paul's daughter.
Yes, Alexa.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what the girl's name was, but she watched our show, and she was the coolest lady ever. So I'm pretty sure she's a part of it. But I just was like, man, I feel it's so cool to see when all these girls are on motorcycles riding from all around the US. to come to the Buffalo
Ellie
Chip,
Raines
and-
was one of our special guests last year. She has quite a following, and we've kind of got a really wide variety. Chris Simmons and Jill Parham, and there's a lot on there. You know, one of the things that's really cool too is that for the women riders, there's always we have do a charitable platform, so they have an opportunity to give back and meet, you know, other celebrities or other riders that they admire on the road and connect, so that when they're not with us, they have people to connect with and ride with, and they really enjoy that.
So cool.
I'll think if you think of her name, let me know.
I know I'm gonna have to look at it now,
Diva,
or else it's
we
gonna
have Diva
bother me.
Amy Scaling has been with me the longest. She's our ambassador and kind of our spokesperson. Marilyn Stamp from Iron Trader News is one of the strong advisors, and she's the moderator the last few years for the panel discussion.
I see you've been doing a lot of media for the flat track race going on.
Well, actually, the American flat track canceled because of the COVID. They got canceled just about everywhere, and just I think what is today? Friday? No, today's Thursday.
Thursday.
So tomorrow, I think they're having their seasonal opening finally at in just south of Daytona there at the fairgrounds, Volusia County Fairgrounds. So yeah, we haven't been doing too much for that, but we're about to. Because we just got a deal with Extreme Flat Track Racing, come up over the weekend and start building a new track for the Super. So we got we had the Buffalo Chip TT for the American Flat Track, which NBC said was the best TV show they ever had for racing. He said, it was really, they made a tremendous show, edited. They covered it live and then they edited it into a real show. And some of the comments about, well, I guess if you crash, you just climb over the fence and have a beer, They made a lot of fun with the whole thing. And they said, this is the first racing show we've ever had where we could do reruns because nobody ever watches a race. You already knew who won, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, it's just fun to watch what's going on. And so that was the Buffalo Chip TT. Now we got the Buffalo Chip Super TT, which is over on the hillside, so a whole different bit of viewing, right? And then there'll be the hill climb going on, right behind it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got quite a number of races, but yeah, we'll be just promoting that starting this week. Like I said, this week we just got the contract, built the track. They put it on, build a series, going out to Jack Pine Gypsies for the first. And then it's a point thing. Then coming out for the Buffalo Chip Super TT, more points. Then coming out to Rapid Cities, a half mile, and finishing there. And then they'll have a champion of Sturgis from whoever gets the most points, right? And so anyway, it's going to be a good thing, I think, for racing and a good thing for, the rally.
You going to race?
No.
Come on, man.
No. I mean, I definitely want to. I guess this would be the year to do it because normally there's always something going on that I'm not able to do anything else, or I'm worried about getting hurt doing that so that I'll miss out on shows. And so, I mean, definitely I feel like that would be an opportunity to go try something else that I've wanted to do. So,
You ever done any freestyle or anything at the Buffalo Chip?
Yeah, last year we were there, did shows every day, 3 shows a day. That's why the weather I felt was so good because I think we did every show besides one show that it was just way too windy, but yeah, it worked out. And I mean, if I had to go back to that 2009 year, and we were right in front of the main stage there, and I would say, I was 17, I think, in 2009, and we were doing shows at the Buffalo Chip. It was, I mean, the memories from that just, it's crazy. I wasn't able to drink or any of that stuff, but the guys around me were much older. And so I will always remember that day and those days for the rest of my life because of it. But we had guys from Chicago there that put the event on, and since they were much older, I mean, I know for sure had a good time at the Buffalo Chip. Yeah.
See, another thing in 2009, a different memory.
All the way.
It was a year.
A big year.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was the first time actually being inside the Buffalo Chip and getting to see that. I'm like, I'm hooked. I mean, can't not think about that all year long and wait for Sturgis Rally to start because of it. So I feel like, I mean, tons of memories out there.
What's your biggest struggle that you've had throughout this whole career? The number one struggle that like sits out.
Dealing with politicians that
Yeah.
want to put you out of business.
Oh,
I hear that.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, there's no comparison. That's it. Politicians.
What's
Rust and politicians are the only two enemies that bikers have.
are you thankful for the knowledge that you have from being a lawyer, running this whole thing, knowing
You
steps
bet.
to take?
Let me think if I know enough. I don't. It doesn't take long to think about that.
Like politicians.
Yeah.
So
If
it's
it wasn't for
it's more
them-
fun when we get to just focus on the business.
Right.
We have a lot of
Seriously.
fun focusing on how to make new things happen and
You
bring
guys-
new people to the area that haven't participated in the
Yeah.
Great Black Hills. One of the things that's really wonderful about most of the people that come here is that they come back at a different time of year and they bring their families, or the Black Hills is a beautiful tourism location, and there's some really significant history in this area, and it's fun to be able to share that with the world. And so there's that part of it that's always fun for me.
You guys became your own city, and
No, let's see. It's 5 years ago. Part of their campground is the town of Buffalo Chip.
Oh.
Right? So, yeah, 5 years and, 3 months.
part of it, but the most of it isn't.
Most of it is not in the town of Buffalo
Cool.
Chip, right? So, and the city of Sturgis, has fought us on that along with a bunch of other stuff, and so they so they're trying to undo our municipal incorporation, and so that was argued in front of the Supreme Court on September 9th of last year, and the Supreme Court has not ruled on it yet. So it's a pretty small little legal issue that apparently is
Good luck.
rather complex. Thanks.
Yeah.
No.
Sturgis Rally wouldn't be a Sturgis Rally without Buffalo Chip.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
You'd be like, we're going to head that way. No, not anymore. There's no reason to now. Like, that whole side would be dead. It'd be like nothing. They got rid of the racetrack, too, didn't they? The drag strip.
No, that's still there.
Oh,
The
okay.
yeah. I think they do that. It sounds like they're doing it more this year than what I've heard, at least. But I think the best the best drag strip, though, is at the Buffalo Chip, right down the middle. So I've always missed that. And last year I caught it.
Oh,
And I was just blown away. I mean, they were going for it, and I mean, everyone was safe, and it was super cool to see right down there. And I always think that that's a pretty cool future to have with everyone. And
We're doing that this year on Tuesday afternoon, but yeah, we have drag races. So there's a couple of jet fuel dragsters that join in, and then some
It's
folks that
always
got
crazy.
got their customs, and so actually what we did was we widened Main Street, which goes right through the middle of the amphitheater,
yeah,
and then we got a little bridge across that's I don't know, about 900 feet long or something. And so basically they raced under the bridge, and we got another 1,600 feet, I think, for them to slow down.
yeah.
And so, so they're doing over 100 when they get to that little bridge, and that's the deal. So, side by side, and turned out to be real popular. Crazy John, as he's affectionately called.
appropriately named.
Crazy John's drag races, and then he's the one that does the invites for it, and he vets everybody to make sure that they know what they're doing and so on, and it's it's fun. And then after that you got a whole bunch of people that line up. Can I race too? Can I race too? And so of course what are we here for? We're here to have fun, right?
And that's how it was last year. Whenever I saw, people were all
Drag racing's an adrenaline rush,
Oh.
big time.
Yeah,
Just standing next to it is an adrenaline
Smelling
rush
it,
when you're
smelling it. Yeah.
as a great spectator. Yeah, we have some fun extreme.
I think the last year I was at the Chip was 2017, and they had, I think it was the flat track races that went around
Yeah.
the whole thing.
That was our
Yeah.
first year. We had the flat track
27
races.
That was
They-
awesome. We got there just as soon as they started, And I was like, what are these dudes doing? I was like, this is awesome.
We have this year, Dad, we have the off-road races. I asked Damon to send me all the stuff, the mini bike races and the old school street drags, extra flat track.
Do you guys
bike.
have
We have a
hooligan?
lot of different variety. I have to
Mini
write them
bike.
down because I can't always remember.
Yeah, there's so much going on at the Buffalo Chip. You have to have an itinerary.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the Disney World for adults.
Hooligan race, is that happening?
The formal hooligan races are not. So I mean, what we did, we used part of the American Flat Track deal as our hooligan. So we were hooligan racing right in the amphitheater
Yep.
again, right in front of the stage, which was a lot of fun. But with this COVID thing, everybody kind of the sponsors and stuff went away. So
Yeah.
Roland Sands, those sort of folks are not going to be here this year because they don't have any sponsorship or anything to get them here.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean we won't have any hooligan races? I don't think so. I think we'll have some informal races over there where, like, we have the Buffalo Chip Super TT track, and
Yeah.
we've got several tracks there, and we had a motocross track built out there last year.
Right there by Camp Zero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have a little less formal part of the campground.
Yes. Yeah.
Motocross track. Let's
Yeah.
go, James. 101.
Seriously. Yeah, with the motocross track, are you guys hosting any with a full race going on this year?
we have off-road racing July 24th and 25th, and we have off-road racing on August 7th and 8th. Then on the probably the 11th and 13th, we have the Super TT,
Yeah.
and that pretty well keeps us busy for the rally. Although, part of the nuts thing about this year is because everybody else in the continent has canceled everything.
Yeah.
Is that we're getting stuff for last minute. So part of what I was trying to stay awake for earlier on a conversation was,
Yep.
another group of racers wants to come out, and a hill climb group wants to come out. And, so I think we can find a space for them there because, like we were just talking, between the 8th and the 11th, there's a couple of days in there, right?
Yeah.
So we can slip a race in there, and we can slip a hill climb in there. And, if these guys are serious, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Right?
100%
I mean,
with that.
Our rule is we say yes, and then we figure out how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now they're one of your entrepreneurial.
That's what I was going to say. I remember you saying that a long time ago. I think it was whenever I first met you, and you said that, and I feel it's always stuck with me actually because I think anything's possible, and you can, as long as you say yes to it now, and you'll just figure it out as you go. And I think if you say no, then it's not going to happen for sure. But yeah, you keep it going with the yes, and
I'm all about that.
yeah, it's going to happen. So.
The downside of that, if there is one, is that you end up with something that's totally organic, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to something that is all planned out by some architects and that sort of thing, and planned and so on.
Yeah.
But we're just here for a good time.
It's
Always.
We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm living forever, so I ain't giving
He's guaranteed that. We have that written in
Seriously.
stone.
we don't tolerate quitters.
Well, it's exciting every year when we come together and think about what the new possibilities are. I mean,
Yeah,
we kind of have these same, signature things, but
I think there is one thing I always look forward to each year, and to see your guys' schedule come up about the Buffalo Chip, to see what is new and what you guys are bringing in for motorcycles and motorcycle shows, and who's going to be there for the concerts. And I just feel like it's one of those things you almost... Maybe it's like Christmas almost. You're waiting for that list of things like, oh, I hope so-and-so comes. And so you guys always do. I feel like a super good job with all that. And
Thanks.
The bands.
bring out the right people.
Bands are always top notch.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We try. This year, this year has been particularly a unique experience for getting bands to actually show, because their whole tour would cancel everywhere else, and we'd be the only thing that didn't cancel, and so they can't make it out here with a big tour because we're the only guy left, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, we're bringing other people in. Going to be good shows.
Oh, yeah.
here they are. Dan sent me the list.
Yeah, go and tell us a few bands that are.
It's July 16th as we sit here, right?
did
And on the road down here, I just confirmed our last act.
Gosh.
So, and it's the replacement of the replacement of the replacement, right?
Yeah.
And so, but, we went through a list of like 5,000 acts. And the nice thing is, it's really all about the good time, right?
Yeah.
And so it's we're there for a rally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's the party, and we've had a lot of acts there over the years.
What was your favorite band that you've had?
My favorite band is probably unfair to say, who my favorite band is. Over the years, there have been a number of bands that have just blown me away.
Yeah.
I already know it. Last year, Snoop Dogg.
I
I just picture you listening to Snoop Dogg now after last year.
Yeah, that was spectacular. There's no question about it. Last year there were two shows that were just beyond perfection, and one of them was Toby Keith, right?
Yes.
And oh my God, you think, but I mean, it just made you melt, and you look at the crowd. And in 2009, we built a separate little platform off on the side of the stage, up a little high, and then we build a zip line up on the hilltop there.
Yeah, the zip
and we
line.
run a zip line just to that platform, and then we had Pee Wee Herman come down on the zip line and then get off on the stage, and we had the world's largest tequila dance, right? Because the movie, the big movie with the motorcycles and Pee Wee,
Big Red Top.
it was the tequila dance, right? And so that's what we did there. So I'm up on the Pee Wee platform because it's the best viewing, anywhere, and I can see the stage right there and everything. I can see all the crowd out there.
Yeah.
And Toby Keith just blew everybody away. And then the next night, guess who, right? It's Mr. $100 Bills with his face on the thing there, and it's Snoop Dogg, right? And he comes out there, and I swear to God, he's got a guy, basically laying on the stage out in front of him that nobody paid attention to, and he's got a whiteboard or a big tablet that's maybe 2 foot square, right? And the words are handwritten on that white tablet, right? And there's a guy there ripping off the pages, and he's going like this, and the audience is singing along because they knew the words, right?
That was an awesome show.
yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And afterwards, he said, we thought maybe this was going to be kind of a dangerous play for us. He said, but we'll come back anytime.
Awesome.
Right?
That's so
So
cool.
yeah, it was
Consummate professionals, this
Oh.
crew was too.
yeah, they were absolute pros.
It was amazing. I mean, your favorite show?
Yeah, what was
Or
your favorite show?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I get asked that question a lot. I think it's hard to have a favorite when you've had so many amazing performances. Usually there's something that stands out, like Toby Keith playing in the rain, or Kid Rock getting struck by lightning practically, and the show must go on. Some of those, you feel it. It's an emotional experience, and it's not an entertainment. You feel a part of it. And so there were times with that. And I think there was a personal moment, 2 personal moments for me that were kind of very solitary moments. And one was when Bob Dylan, it was Kid Rock and Bob Dylan played on our stage the same night. And Bob Dylan was a silhouette. I was in backstage. It was really quiet. I was walking by, and you could just see the silhouette of Bob Dylan up there performing on our stage. And I thought, oh my gosh, legendary. We've made I grew up listening to Bob Dylan. It was like part of our family music. And it was just kind of that still moment. It was just me and this big crowd, but it was just me, and I saw that silhouette. That was really cool. And then was it last year or the year before? I can't even remember the years. But Willie Nelson played, and he was going on stage, and he doesn't do meet and greets that often, but he wanted to meet Woody, and he wasn't available. He's probably out directing traffic, which is often the case with Rod Woodruff during the rally. He wears many hats, and something needs to get done. He's out there doing it.
Yes.
So I went back
boy.
there to meet him and welcome him and thank him for personally coming onto our stage. And he was so genuine and just, well, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet your father, and I'm really honored to play here. And he went up there and played 2 hours of just a phenomenal show that people really enjoyed. And so, I mean, everything has its little, hot spots, everywhere
Yeah.
from, the days of Poison and White Snake. And
Oh, yeah.
the first concert was not the Kingman. Who was the...
Our first show?
Yeah, first show. Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny Paycheck.
Johnny
yeah.
Paycheck. So, I mean, when you're around for 39 annual, this will be our 39th annual celebration, we've had a lot of classic American music icons out there, as long as new up and coming. We've had so many people who started with us before they were really well known, and they become friends,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
and so that's the case with Toby. And of course, there's the iconic, you know, Steven Tyler fell off the stage.
Yeah.
That was a good show, though, before that.
So about Steven, I was at Laconia Bike Fest, and someone told us that he requests 100 black towels. Did you guys have anything?
We didn't get any nonsense at all from Steven Tyler.
Okay.
He came out and scouted the area, decided he was going to perform at the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah.
So we got that word, worked out a deal with him. He came 3 days early. We spent 3 days. He was just hanging around the campground. He went out to
Super.
Motorcycles is Art and other places in the bars. Some of the deals, said hi to people.
That's awesome.
We were backstage with him for, we came up to Deadwood a couple times and had dinner, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was
and,
awesome.
and then they were doing the show, and, Joe said, God, we were just this was our first comeback show, and it was like the best show ever, and then he fell off the stage, right? And,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
and legitimately hurt himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, too bad.
And so the next thing you know, he's a judge on some TV show or something.
Yeah.
So America's Got Talent?
Well,
I'm not even
I
sure
think that
what it
might
was.
be right.
Yeah.
My favorite, actually, one of my memories, one of my personal little iconic solo memories was a lot of times. So the night before Aerosmith played, Toby Keith played the night before, and Steven and his crew were all hanging in the area, is what he said. And usually I try to go up and see one song of every act, so I have a memory of that year. Hopefully it sticks, right?
song.
So I knew it. I just kind of put this. So I ran up on the sound deck just to look to see Toby on the stage and say hi, and I'm like, who's that guy in front of the sound stage? This very small, petite guy, little blue glasses, normal looking guy. I'm like, who's that guy by the sound? Steven Tyler.
Really?
Jamming out to Toby Keith back there on the soundboard, just, like really
Super
jamming.
cool.
And I thought, that's what makes it great. It's just that people from all walks of life, I mean, both from the entertainment side of things to the races, to the art, to the concerts and the community.
Yeah.
It's people of all walks of life. And there's just a common denominator of humanity that exists there. And that's what I felt like I witnessed was Steven Tyler jamming out to Toby Keith.
I'd have to
The
say,
best quote I can think of, that one of those things that people say that you never forget. We got that artist back this year, but in the year 2000, 38 Special was doing a live recording.
nice.
And so they come out in the year 2000, it seems kind of primitive by today's standards, but, out come, these buses with millions of dollars of recording equipment, right? Took up every little bit of space that there was. And so I was asking the the producer for the record company, I said, how is it you decided to record a live album here? Because, they didn't even ask me about it, didn't talk to me about it in advance or anything like that, just called me up and said, hey, we'd like to record the, live for the 38 Special. And he says, there seems to be a certain ambiance here that doesn't exist anywhere else. I thought, I can remember that. Right, a certain ambiance here.
Yeah.
that
There's an
doesn't
energy for
exist
sure.
anywhere else. Yeah. And, we've heard that sort of comment from a number of people. It's one of Bon Jovi's, agents was out there one time, and he pulled me aside backstage, and he said, he says, I've done shows all over the world. I've been in Singapore and Sydney, and I've been everywhere, man. And he says, I can tell you honestly, there ain't no place like this place, any place.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I was just thinking as you're saying that is, it really, in this whole entire world, is there a place where you could pull your motorcycle up, and after they get done playing, everybody revs their motorcycle as loud as it could go until it's about to blow up. I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that you can actually do that.
Bands.
We're going to do
record at the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah, exactly.
we're going to do that again this
Yeah.
year. I mean, that's kind of our little thing is, okay, we don't know what's going to happen with all of this stuff or how many people are going to show up, but we're all going to have a good time. So it's kind of like party like it's 1982.
Oh, yeah.
Back to the beginning.
Gotta do it.
First
Yeah.
And 38 specials on the docket for this year.
Awesome.
So
Thursday
that'll be
night.
really fun.
I'd have
really
to say
good show.
George Thorogood was one of my favorites.
Yes.
George Thorogood was awesome, and ZZ Top.
Well, ZZ, yeah, we got like some local house bands. I feel like ZZ Top
I'm a
and
huge
Leonard Skinner.
classic rock fan. The guy, it's funny, the guy who does the voiceovers for your commercials is the one who got me into radio when I started doing radio, Jay Davis. And Jay, like, taught me how to, like, you know, do the boards and everything like that. And I learned how to do all this because of Jay. And he showed me how to do your commercials for Sturgis Rally. He's like, and we just ramp this up and we do this and that. Buffalo Chip. And I was like,
Go on board.
oh, I could do that. I'm like, I'm gonna hit Rod up now and just do his commercials.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a good time, man.
I feel like I went to Rob Zombie, and I still, to this day, besides Snoop Dogg last year, Rob Zombie was incredible. I feel like the stage, his setup, everything was so spot on that I wasn't expecting that going out there that day. And seeing Rob Zombie, and I've always been a fan of him and any of his movies, and I just feel like he's a character. But that stage setup was try to put it all together, how they set something up like that so quick and so make it look so easy to where there's monsters on.
After you do it a million times around the world, man.
Yeah,
it's-
true. It just
I don't know. It
Everything's-
felt like it was one everybody talked about for a long time. 'cause
Rob
it was
Zombie?
One of those like iconic. You know, like everybody has that peak performance, right?
Yeah.
You have like some time where that one you performed a million times, and then that one time it just all the things are in alignment and it works great. And it seemed like for Rob Zombie that year, there were a lot of people who had the similar experience that you
Yeah.
had, where it was a really great show.
I can't wait
You
until
know.
someday you guys have on Foo Fighters. That would be the biggest ever at the Buffalo Chip.
yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
I guess if I can ask a question to you guys is.
You're co-hosting, bro. Go for
Right.
it.
I think I've talked to you about this, Rod. It was quite a while ago, but the younger generation is coming up and they want to see the rally. So what is the future like for the younger generation that's just buying a motorcycle and they're going to come and hang out at the rally, but it's their first time? What do you think that they'll have to look forward to later in the future with concerts? And is there any plan on bringing, I guess, what would you say,
That new age music.
Yeah,
and all
the
that,
newer-
the evolution of where the world
Yeah.
is going, like changing.
You know, our job is to give people what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not trying to give them something that they don't want.
Right.
It's the whole deal. So,
Yep.
we take a reading of all of our folks that are camping there, that are staying there.
Yep.
We do our surveys, we get feedback, and we try to give people what they want.
Yeah.
So, so if they buy a motorcycle and they come out and they say, hey, we want this to happen, we want that to happen,
Yeah.
then it's our job to try to make it happen for them.
Yeah.
Whoever in
And-
the family takes over the business is gonna try it. Gonna have
I
to
think we've
evolve.
always been, I think that's one of the things where we have like Camp Zero started a couple years ago, which is kind of like a throwback to the old school concept
Yeah.
of if you want to experience kind of how it was when it started in 1982. There's some of that element to it, a little bit of interest, but it's actually really interesting how similar. Maybe the music we listened to in the 60s versus the 90s versus the 220s
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
like-
lot
Oh, yeah.
different.
owning the
So
Buffalo
it'll
Chip.
be different.
You definitely have to evolve because I mean, with the music, with how bikes were and
Yeah.
are now, and how back then in the '70s and stuff, the bikers were completely different than who they are today. The bikers, I mean, back then they were riffraff, they were awesome, they were like rebels, and now it's like I got to go to work Monday, man, but I'm going to party tonight.
Yeah. And my whole thought on it is I think the older bands are the coolest out there, and that's I wouldn't say what I grew up on mostly, but I feel like Fleetwood Mac, I could listen to them all day, or the Eagles, and that's my go-to music. But these people that I see going to events like Coachella or these big events in California, is that ever something that would happen to be like, let's bring some of these bands that are at this Coachella type deal and bring them to the Buffalo Chip
I guess
one night?
if the environment changes like that,
Yeah.
but it's not there right now.
Yeah,
Maybe in about
no,
20 years.
Yeah, later down the road.
Yeah, when when you go to Coachella, you see an awful lot of young people.
Yeah.
and we're talking really young, like people that are in high school and just
Yeah.
starting college, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they all live within a few miles
Yeah.
of Coachella. Really, that's hockey, horse hockey. What's the polo field,
wow.
right?
Yeah.
Horse hockey, right?
Horse
I went there once. I
Or
saw them
what's
running
the-
the horses around there. I mean, it's really a hell of a
Yeah.
sport, right?
Yeah.
Damn dangerous and very, But anyway, then you convert that into, Coachella, right? Or
Yeah.
Stagecoach.
Or what's Stagecoach was the
You
other
know,
one, which is
and-
more country,
Yeah.
more
but-
of the pop
yeah.
country type.
So
Yeah, I think
yeah. So I get asked that kind of question by
Yeah.
lots of people, and I just tell them to look around. There
Yep.
ain't no people here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
it's everything
So-
else has its own element also, but
Yeah.
Sturgis Buffalo Chip is definitely the chip's kind of different element. You know,
Yeah.
it's biker, it's hardcore, it's like classic rock, for now.
Yeah.
When
We
Snoop
really
Dogg is kind
try.
of classic rock rap.
Seriously, yeah.
Well, we really try to give a little bit of something for everybody. So
Or-
there's classic rock, there's country, there's some up and coming new bands that are kind of popular. I mean, I remember when Buck Cherry was their first album, and you came out on stage, I'm like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
And so some of those were up and coming. There's going to be new bands
Yeah.
that are up and coming. Lady Gaga, maybe we
Yeah,
could.
see, that's what.
K-pop.
That'd be awesome.
Or what's the event in Cheyenne, Wyoming?
Frontier Days.
Yeah. So last year they had Post Malone.
Oh yeah,
I went to one of his concerts. Insane. I mean, it was the coolest thing at the Red Rocks. And my first thought whenever I went to it was, gosh, I wonder what that would be like at the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah, we
Rally.
wonder that too, but we haven't been able to schedule that in because
Yeah.
those guys got their tours. They got the hot spot
Yeah.
right now. They want to go where there's a few million people right there,
Yeah.
in the neighborhood. The thing again about Coachella and those places that got 300 acts,
Yeah.
most of those acts are broken up and gone and never hear about them again about 2 weeks after the event.
Yep.
Right? And so, we have to, if we're going to be out here and people are going to have to travel 500 or 1,000 or 1,500 miles to get here,
Yeah.
it needs to be somebody whose name they recognize, whose music they know, and it can't be, Tony and me humming a tune that we,
Yeah.
That would be bad. Both of us are not good at singing.
That's a very good point about how people do come here to make memories more than anything there,
Yeah.
like Coachella and stuff, because you do go there, you see an act, and that's it.
And
You're
that's
done.
it, yeah.
You listen to them on the radio over and over, and that's it. But this is legendary. You do get to see this band, and they're iconic.
Yeah.
Big
It's
time.
an experience. People come to celebrate being together, and they like to be entertained while
guys
they're
ever had
there.
a
We try
wedding
to
there?
find new ways. Well, we've had lots of weddings.
Really?
Yep.
During the rally.
Our biggest,
too, right?
our best rally, our best wedding might have been the best man was a kangaroo.
I forgot about Samson and Victoria.
So I had the video of that on my desk here actually right now. It's kind of,
That's
kind of
awesome.
fun. But everybody wants to have a good time in their own way, right?
Yeah.
And that's been a few years now, and they're still married. I don't know what happened to the kangaroo.
Probably
James.
back in Australia.
Your 5-year anniversary wedding.
Yeah,
Let's do it
right
again,
there.
too.
Yeah, there you go. Kangaroo.
Last year and this year at the Civic Center here in Rapid, 2 people got married in the back of a monster truck.
I saw that.
During the monster truck route or the monster truck show, which was, different. So that fits the scene for it. So,
People make all kinds of interesting.
yeah.
It's a memory you're never going to forget about. You're like, where'd you get married? Buffalo Chip during Sturgis.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because it's where they met. Like,
Yeah.
Chris and Pat Simmons from the Doobie Brothers. They met famously at the legendary Buffalo Chip.
Wow.
And been married over 25 years now, I believe. They celebrated their wedding anniversary, and it's a special place for them. They met there, and they
It's the real
have
life.
life. So, we're really honored. More people that we get to become friends with that we cherish.
Peter Fonda used to say, "I come out here to pick up chicks, man."
Peter Fonda.
No.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, he rode the bike, and it kind of tipped over in the back.
Actually, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah. You shouldn't have forks that long.
That once you tipped that wheel, it was going right over because it was like a 45 degree, maybe a 38-degrey angle, straight out.
Is that from the Legends ride? One of our charitable platforms?
I know it wasn't.
I remember that because I was there that year. I was like, this ain't gonna happen. Like, I couldn't even turn it.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the Captain America bike was. It was unrideable. Mm-hmm. But neither here nor there.
Yeah, Peter Fonda's chopper.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, you're a little young.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to have an exact replica, theoretically, of the Captain America bike and the Billy bike at the chip this year. We're going to probably put it in the big engine bar and have it on display there for people to look at.
Is that a new bar?
We remodeled it last year, and it's right out front, right by the big engine. That's why we call it the big engine bar.
Yeah, the big engine is a cool story. The kind of organic things that happen at the Buffalo Chip.
Did it just kind of pop up?
Actually, sort of. We were, it's a long time ago now, but we were up at Deadwood having a little powwow, and we wondered, we need something that says motorcycle, right? And kind of like to make a statement with it. And so then we took a break, and Darwin Brink, about 60 years old, been whole family of racers, that kind of stuff. He was an old cowboy, all broken up, and did a bunch of stuff. He's very influential for us. And when we get done with the break, he comes in, he's got a bar napkin, and had it drawn out, and had this big engine, drawn on it. It's 30 foot tall, and he's got a couple of, humans drawn at the bottom, looking up at the top of it and saying, "Oh, shit." And, so I thought, okay, we're going to do it. So, must have been about 2005, because I took my 2004 Fat Boy then down to the shop and parked it, and he built that 30-foot high
big
engine as an exact two-scale replica of the engine in my 2004 Fat Boy, right? And then, designed it so that, those 80-mile-an-hour winds don't budge a single blade on, anywhere,
It's weigh like
right?
20 ton or something. I mean,
well,
ridiculous.
That's a big engine.
We got more than 20 ton of concrete and steel buried below the earth there to make sure that it never wiggles, right? So, yeah, he designed it really, really well. So that engine is there to stay.
After the apocalypse, that motor's going to be there all the time.
We're leaving our
There'll
mark.
be roaches in one big engine replica.
Aliens are going to be like, what is that?
Man, they had a really big motorcycle. So, yeah, Darwin was genius.
You still ride?
Yeah, not very well yet, but I'm learning.
Yet.
What's
your favorite place to ride around here? Like Little Route?
It's just really tough to beat, the hills roads anywhere, right? But, you find yourself riding up and down Spearfish Canyon more than once.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you cruise up by Rough Lock Falls, and you come up Icebox Canyon. The Black Hills are marvelous, right?
Yeah, a lot of places, Needles.
Yeah, you catch the Iron Creek Road, that sort of stuff. It's, Black Hills have got the best bike riding hill, there is, right? And it's 15 degrees cooler as soon as you get into the hills than it is out on the prairie. And the roads are all banked just right. So, it's just like slalom, just, skiing right through the Black Hills.
And if you're an amateur, it's kind of dangerous out here with the turns. And if you're not
it's a lot safer than it used to be. If you remember back in the day, there'd be 4, 5, 6 deaths in Boulder Canyon every year because people miss turns. And so they widened it, straightened out a lot of the turns. And, now it's a 4-lane, right? So it's much less frequent that somebody forgets to go right speed before they know how to handle a motorcycle. It's one of those real anomalies. Your natural instinct when you get there, you're going too fast and you are a little bit beyond your ability. Mm-hmm. The natural instinct is to do the wrong damn thing, and off into the creek and the big rocks you go.
When in doubt, throttle out.
Right. It went into go faster.
You know?
Right? Turned
Yeah.
into go faster.
Yep.
Yeah, if you ever ride with Robbie Knievel, you learn that. You know, if you're going to stay in the same county as him, you're going to have to throttle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
My favorite story of your riding, though, it has to do with my brother Damon and my father. It was one of Damon had gotten his he'd taken the 4-day course and gotten his motorcycle license like in May, and we had the rally that year. And right after the rally, Dad and Damon took off on quite an adventure.
We put 5,000 miles on.
They went. Why don't you tell where you went? It was a great. You went down one side of the.
Well, Peter Fonda had a route that he would do every year for a good long time. He'd go down the east side of the Continental Divide to Mexico and then cross over the Continental Divide and come back up the other side, right?
Wow.
And I thought, okay, so we thought we'd do that. And, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful country, right? And we took a few detours, you know, we wanted to go to Glacier Park and, you know, but we didn't get there till like September 14th. The snow was 1 foot deep. So, you know, it was raining, cats and friggin' dogs, and, you know, it was just friggin' miserable. There's times on a motorcycle when you're uncomfortable, and you can get uncomfortable when you're doing that kind of stuff. So we ended up cruising back, and we thought we'd cut through Yellowstone again, and that was memorable, too. Yeah. You know, you got the Million Mile Road when, you know, it's midnight and it's raining cats and dogs. And they just put a new blacktop on it, and they don't have any white lines on it.
It's a mirror?
Well, you know, it's not a mirror. It's so damn dark you can't see. And, you know, but you know that right over where that clay is swollen at the edge of the asphalt is about a 1,500-foot drop straight down. And so you really don't want those damn SUVs coming up 50 miles an hour, splashing all that crap on you, slush and shit on you. And, yeah, by the time I got down to Silverton at 9,300 feet, I thought, you know, I need a break.
Well, I would love to story because Damon, like, he was, you know, big borrowing him from everything. Like, nothing, he borrowed chaps, nothing matched on him. He looked like, you know, just a cartoon character. He had his helmet, and he was riding your,
He used to do it on the Fat Boy, and I was on a 99 Lowrider, which is kind of like my favorite bike, but it's carbureted. So when we got back to the Yellowstone, you know, everybody's smarter than me, and Damon is one of those people. We were headed out to the East Gate, and I thought, well, we'll stop one more time and see, you know, these pots and stuff, right? And he looks up at the sky and he says, I think it's going to snow. And I thought, no, you know, and so what? We'll just go do this, and then we'll get out of here, right? So, you know, we started walking around, and sure enough, it started snowing. By the time we got back to the bikes, there's 2 or 3 inches of snow on the seats, right? And I'm having trouble with that elevation, keeping my bike running.
Sputtering.
Just couldn't keep the damn thing running. So, you know, we got a little ways to go to get out of the park, and they're going to close the gates at 8 o'clock or something like that. So we got to get there by 8 o'clock. And I couldn't keep the motorcycle running. So now we got 6 inches of snow up there. We got SUVs coming up the other way, and then we get to a stretch where half of the road had fallen down there about 1,200 feet, and so they were blasting out this hillside on the other side. So you got one lane, right? Mm-hmm. And we're on the wrong side of that highway, right? Because we're right there by the drop off.
Yeah.
And those SUVs come through there again, and it just drives you friggin' nuts. And so I remember when the most memorable part of that really was we got down to where the construction crew was finishing the day, and they were getting dressed and changing clothes, that kind of stuff. And they looked at us, and we were covered with mud everywhere, right? I mean, mud. And it just the looks on their faces as they saw 2 motorcycles come out of that mess. That was a good thing. You know? So, you know, and I'm fried. I'm thinking, okay, I'm about out of gas now. Just trying to keep that thing running. I don't know if I'm going to make it to Cody or not, right? And Damon, he wants to quit. He said, "Look at the stone over there. That's good climbing rock." And I'm thinking, I want to go to a hot tub.
Dad's like, I'm going to kiss the earth and find a bed.
And what year was this?
Oh, you know, I don't know. It's a while ago.
Yeah.
It's not too long ago.
James, what's that road up by Happy Tavern that you can take? Like when you're leaving Happy Tavern coming towards Rapid, and you take that left right there. It's
I'm not even sure.
It's right before Haciga. I forgot what it was. It's like you going leaving Rapid, and then you go towards Nemo, and you go up that road right there. I forgot what it is. It's so beautiful, and you go south, like West Chicago and Rapid, and you head straight out on a road, and you go towards Nemo. It's like really, really beautiful, and it's got a lot of turns.
Yep, right along the creek, almost all the way.
Trees hanging right over the corners. It's awesome. I love that road. I love that ride.
Yeah, the bridge washed out right now, so we have to take a little detour. We're doing that on one of our charity rides, a Rusty Wallace ride.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, we're leaving Black Hills Harley-Davidson at 4 o'clock on Wednesday during the rally, and then, we're going to go out along Nemo Road. So we're going as far as we can, and then we have to do a detour, and the highway patrol told me how to get there, and they gave us the instructions, so we couldn't go over the washed-out bridge. But,
Yeah.
So going to see some new country. Actually for the ride. So, and then back to Van Ocker Canyon and back out to the chip.
Van Ocker's nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that area.
It's kind of straight, kind of, a rush. But, the land you're talking about around there and some of that, one of the turns off of Nemo Road there, takes you up to Johnson's Siding and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That's that back road up there. And then
that's
ends up right by that church and that gas station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a gorgeous little
It is. It's just a little road too.
Yeah.
15 miles, 2-lane.
Yeah.
Almost no traffic.
I loved my little bobber I had, and I'd ride up the hill towards Hysiga, and then I'd take that road. I'd just take that road and come back down by myself all the time. I loved it. It was this chill, beautiful road.
Man, you got to go to Rockford and all those places too. And so, Rochford.
Yeah. The CH.
There's a lot of beautiful riding. I mean, people come from all over the world and they comment on Black Hills riding. So
The Ghost Bar.
Yeah. Just last year. Go ahead.
It is beautiful having it right in our backyard to go to the lakes, go hiking, go motorcycle riding, even cruise your rat rod or your muscle car, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so awesome at this time, especially with COVID and stuff like that, to get out and go do this stuff all over the hills. You can be outside and not get the finger. You got to wear a mask in the forest. Get out of here.
it's nice that we have so much outdoors and nature around us.
Yeah, we do.
Last year had a bunch of guys out from all over the world for the show that I put on in Deadwood, and Black Hills Harley and Legends gave us some bikes to let all these guys ride. So there was about 10 professional motocross riders, Vicky Golden, so a girl rider actually.
Yes, wonderful to hear.
So she came out. Wanky is what we call him, but he's from Japan. No motorcycle license or anything, but we took them up Iron Mountain Road and up to Mount Rushmore, and those guys were blown away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they just have never seen anything like it, had the time of their life. So I think about that, like these people that haven't really ever came out here, even hearing that Tony Hawk was out here the other day, which was
Badlands.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Skateboarding down the road in Badlands.
Right?
That's
So I'm like,
Very
that's always, anytime I hear of something like that or get the opportunity to tell someone and show them these photos, and with Carrie Hart always coming out during the rally, and I feel like it's just crazy the opportunity that we have here in the Black Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really grateful to do the good ride.
You asked me about my favorite road, though. I should mention, if you go south from Missoula, Montana, just a little ways, and then you take a right and go up to Lolo Hot Springs, right? And you go up Lolo Pass. There's a traffic sign right there, yellow sign. Mm-hmm. It's got a wavy sign. It's the next 77 miles, right? And you are just cruising on the banks of the Lochshaw River for 77 miles, going, I don't know how much elevation you lose during that time, but oh my God, it's beautiful. And you hit the Clearwater River and head from there. But I mean, that's a nice ride.
It's a tip from Rod.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Yeah, gonna have to.
People need to get out and do something. There's a lot of people too that are actually looking forward to getting out and going to see some real live music. They've been so stuck in their house the whole time. There's no concerts anywhere. There's no sports. ESPN's down. Dudes are going nuts.
Yeah. I honestly feel the rally is going to be, insane.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be super
it's a
good.
good time.
And, yeah.
We're going to have a party no matter how many people come.
Yep.
You know, and it's going to be a good one. And
Yes.
so, you know, we got like 9 bike shows. We got several
Yeah.
days of racing like we talked about earlier. We got 9 days of concerts. And, you know, then we just got goofing off all the time. And then in between time, you go out and you ride through the Black Hills.
Yeah.
Check out Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower.
9
That's
days
good stuff.
to get it out of your system and
Yes.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 days of memories to take home and tell the grandkids about someday.
Yeah.
Someday.
After they grow up.
Right.
Might get grandkids from Sturgis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
So,
yeah. You know, come to the
Right.
rally, meet your next wife.
yeah. There we go. I just had one more question.
Go ahead,
Last question is, what are you guys looking forward to this rally? I mean, this is going to be,
An odd year.
odd year, but at the
is
same time,
idiot.
So it's going to be a big one. From what I read on social media, of course, a ton of negative and positive things going on. People are going to come no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
We might have locals that disagree and think that it's a big no-no, but I feel we need the tourists. Our area's amazing to be able to see, and kept thinking this whole time is, what are you guys looking forward to with the rally? Concerts, anything that you guys...
We're looking forward to celebrating American freedom the way it used to be. It's a free
Yes.
country when I was a kid. I'd kind of like it to go that way again someday.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to celebrating freedom. We have our military celebration, which is Freedom
Yes.
Celebration. We got our Freedom Field. We got the wall. We got the memorials. We got all the stuff we talked about before. And mainly, you know, and I hate to sound too normal, but we got a lot of friends that are coming, and we're going to spend time having a beer with them, having a couple of cocktails along the way, maybe a margarita, maybe a few shots of
Yes.
tequila.
That's right.
You know, just the ordinary, normal stuff, right? And so that's what it is. So however many people come, and there'll be some people that we haven't met, so we're going to meet new people as well, no doubt about it. We got, you know, actually people have been making reservations, and they're coming. You know, it's
Yep.
like you
Yeah.
said. So, you know,
They're
we
coming.
know people are coming, and, you know, our job is to provide an entertaining and safe place for them.
Yes.
You know, and we're really fortunate that we're an outdoor event. And so we have the ability to, you know, put in place those comfort measures that, you know, are being recommended with the guidelines so that people have that choice. You know, if they're at their campground, hanging with their friends, meeting their neighbors, like they always do, they're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
They come into the amphitheater, there's lots of room. You can ride in your motorcycle to the concert. You know, there's some really cool, unique things that have defined us over the years that actually fit very well with, you know,
What's going on?
what's
with
going
it. Yeah.
on. So we're aware of all of that, and we're just letting people know we care, and that we're looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been
super
working with
good.
all my vendors, like all the business partners that we have, and they're excited. This is their first opportunity, maybe make a little money after everything getting canceled.
Yeah.
But they're mostly coming because they want to see all their friends, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come, I want to see you. It's my once a year I see them, maybe, you know. And
Yeah,
I'm looking
it's a
forward to
tough
seeing
year,
them.
and there's going to be a lot of judging going on. People are going to be judging, businesses coming out, supporting and doing that. Enjoy yourself just for 1 week. Get out there.
Yeah, you know, if they're worried about it, they should stay home.
Yeah,
you know, it's the
definitely.
same. You know, those are the 2 rules. If you're worried about it, stay home. If you don't feel right, stay home.
Yeah,
right?
get out there
And and otherwise, you come out and just be respectful of other people and take care of yourself. It's kind of like the governor had on the Mount Rushmore thing there.
Yep.
Right. You should not put yourself in harm's way.
Yep.
Right. That's your responsibility. So, you know, social distancing, stay away from his people as far as you want to. You know, you come with your pod, if you would, your bubble of people that you're already with. You meet some other people, you know, you do what's comfortable, you stay safe. So, you know, do we have sanitizer? Yeah, we got sanitizer till hell freezes over.
Yeah.
We have a lot of sanitizer.
You know,
We have a lot of
and,
sanitizer. We have masks
yeah.
for people if they want them. We have,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has a bandana.
Yeah.
So
you know, we
we're good.
don't know anybody really that wears those things. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're pretty much like what you call normal. So, but what we should be doing and what we talked to you about earlier is, you know, what we do is what people want. So we should be asking you. Here you are, 2 customers of the Buffalo Chip, campers, right? You've been there before many times.
Yep.
What would you like to see us provide?
I mean, I feel you guys already do an amazing job with everything.
I feel as though it's outside. We're going to be rubbing shoulders and not, but I know going out of my home and to the Buffalo Chip, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
You're going to be around people. They're not going to social distance. You're going to party.
Yeah.
You're going to be drinking booze. You're going to be having a good time. And if you're not about drinking booze and getting outside and meeting people and doing some moshing and watching stuff and, maybe it's like, don't go. Like I like the bags there too. We always play bags.
Yeah.
So, the bags, somebody else might hand them to you. You're going to be playing some other team. Don't go if you don't want to touch some bags.
Yeah.
Bags.
I'm putting on an event in September, so my thought was the whole have mask there, hand sanitizer. But to me, I feel like people should wash their hands anyways.
Yeah, I'm hoping people are washing their hands before this. That would have been really nice, responsible action.
So I feel like that's just one of those things is you can't go too far out of your way to supply all this stuff to make the people happy if they just wash their hands and do that part. But at the same time, it's outdoors. You're not jamming everyone into this small building. Yep. So
I think
you guys have plenty of room, and anyone that is concerned, they're either going to wear a mask or they'll keep their distance.
There'll be a few probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, after, when you actually need to take a drink of beer or something like that, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're going to be all over the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what, I guess downtown Rapid is that there have been masks laying on the ground. So hopefully that doesn't happen at the Chip to where it's more cleanup.
But we don't want anybody picking them up and reusing them.
Yeah. Which that might be the case later on in the night.
Yeah.
It's like sharing underwear.
Yeah.
They might be creative with how they use them, actually.
Yeah.
So that could be the homemade bikini contest could.
Yeah.
I'm giving someone a pearl here.
So
Someone
maybe
a pearl.
250-pound dude is going to be wearing one as a thong.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
I totally don't want to see that, man.
Or I saw a prank video online the other day, and the guy was wearing the girl's underwear as the mask inside of Sam's Club and everything.
Thong, right?
Yeah,
It's a perfectly good thong.
yeah. So I might picture
Creative
that at the rally.
Creative
So-
thinking.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
right.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
We hope you guys have the best rally. We will be there definitely at a party and support Black Hills
matter what.
Podcast.
We're looking forward to having you.
Yeah. James, Carter, thanks for
Yeah,
co-hosting
of
with me
course.
today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll probably have another podcast with James later on. And we do have Miss Buffalo Chip coming on.
Hey.
Miss Buffalo Chip.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for being here.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.